What's up, guys? Oh my goodness, I did it again. This is my last video for today. Your girl been grinding today, but it's been it's crazy. But now this one right here hits near and dear to the heart. I did a video on the troops coming to Memphis. As you can see behind me in this background, I got it. I represent the city of Memphis again. I love my city, man. I put on for my city. I grew up here, born and bred in Memphis. But Roland Martin, Roland Martin, on this video is getting on his soapbox. And what he did was he decided to put somebody, I'm assuming this woman is from Memphis. And what he did was he put her on his video to try to make it seem as she can speak up for the actual city of Memphis. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to make sure that I show you how he is not telling the whole truth and he's trying to paint a narrative because he does not like Donald Trump. Now, again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a political pundit. I don't have no skin in the game for this, but I do represent the city of Memphis. I do love Memphis. I do love living in Memphis. Now, again, and I'm gonna preference this by letting you know that I don't want to live in a bad neighborhood. When I grew up in North Memphis, close to the Hyde Park area. If people that's from Memphis, they know where that's at. But at the end of the day, I didn't grow up. I didn't want to stay in that area forever. I don't even frequent those areas now. I don't even frequent those areas now. And what the reason why I'm doing this video is because at the end of the day, when you're watching these videos, you need to really understand that it's very important to go do your research. Because people like Roland Martin, they are put on to do a job. To do a job. And because he doesn't like Donald Trump personally, anything Donald Trump does is not going to be good in his eyes. And I'm not saying that the troops here is gonna be the greatest thing or it is good right now. People are hopping on videos and everybody's saying something different. But I just don't like the narrative that he's trying to paint. So let's listen to what he has to say, and then I'm gonna debunk what he has to say.
Place those guards to the streets of Memphis. They arrived today. And of course, you've had people making it clear they don't want them there. That's also what's been.
That's one lie. Cause everybody's not saying that. Now I don't want to take up too much time on this video and trying to go look up those videos. But I can tell you about the woman that did come on, and it was a man that came on. And what they were talking about most is that they're glad that they're not hearing gunshots, and they're glad that their kids can go outside and actually play and have fun without worrying about them getting shot at or getting shot around or get hurt by just playing outside, walking around their neighborhoods. So again, that's the narrative he's trying to paint. It may be some that feel that way, but it's not all. So he needs to stop that.
Going on. Mayor Paul Young says he didn't request the troops. They, of course, were accepted by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. Young said he agreed to cooperate after Trump and Governor Bill Lee went forward with their plan. Officials emphasized the mission is to target violent offenders, not intimidate.
I'm not going to do a long reaction. I want to get to the part that I really want to debunk. And here it is. I think he's going to bring this woman in. And I want to get to this point.
Other black mayors come on the show, so Mayor Young, don't be scared to come on, roll them out unfiltered. But joining us is Memphis City Council member Yolanda Cooper Sutton. I'm glad to have you here.
He called her. He made sure that he said Memphis City Council member, right? Okay, now watch what she says, because they're trying to paint a narrative.
Woman, so please pass on to the mayor. Hey, this is the only black news show in America that's a daily show. He can come talk to us. Here's what I don't understand. You're going to have the National Guard directing traffic like that?
Roland, I want you to do something for me. I know you probably not going to see this video because I'm not big enough. You come to Memphis and walk these streets. I want you to come to Memphis. Dwell in Memphis. Live in Memphis. Move to Memphis. You're speaking on something you don't even know. And then you're going to get this woman to help paint this narrative for you. I know I sound a little upset. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. I don't need to be ranting on this video, but I am going to debunk his narrative. But again, Roland, let's be honest. Let's be real. Like I said, I'm not a political pundit. I don't do this. The only videos that I've been doing on this political stuff is this. Because I am a Memphian. I love Memphis again. Now I'm not sitting around watching every single crime situation. I don't live in a high crime area, but I know there are some high crime areas. Now let's get into it some more about I want to let him paint this narrative, and then I'm going to Picasso over his narrative with some truth.
Really? The police, she said, they're gonna be directing traffic and in retail areas. Ooh, that's really gonna deal with the issues in Memphis, right?
Right, right. And so what I'm understanding, and when we last talked, they're going to be in the downtown area, more so in Parks and Beale Street. That's what their presence will mainly be, from what our last meeting and we were last told. So they're in the downtown where tourism is, and of course Beale Street is our big tourist place, and Parks. So that's my understanding, and that's where they were when I left, because I'm in Jackson at the homecoming for JSU.
So, do y'all have some major crime problem
Here we
on
go,
Beale
here we
Street
go.
right now?
Right now, we don't have that much crime going on.
Okay, Miss Yolanda Cooper Sutton, let me debunk your lie. And I'm just gonna quickly debunk her lie. Let me debunk her lie. But first, what I want to do is play a video. I want to play a video from
non-critical injuries, despite those incidents.
I want to play this video first before I get into that, and I want you to hear this. Let me see if I find it. Listen to this now. Listen to
You got to
this.
clean some of that stuff up because it's dissuasive to NBA players. They have
Now this is Stephen A. Smith. Look at what the caption down there says. It says, should Grizzlies move on from Ja Morant? But he's talking about what? Listen to what he says in this.
talked about it. I know they've told me.
That's the comment coming from a national figure, and it has gotten a lot of Memphians on the defense. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith says that Memphis crime is the reason why NBA players don't want to come to our city.
Now he said that, and she mentioned Beale Street, right? Where is the FedEx Forum where the Grizzlies play? Close to the Beale Street area where crime is high. Now, let's get into her saying right now it's not a high crime rate down there on Beale Street. Let me show you how the National Guard even ended up even being thought about coming to Memphis. Donald Trump at this time was calling himself trying to clean up. I don't think you can see this as well on my iPad. He was in D.C. trying to clean up D.C. And look. Now it says, in most recent crimes reported on Beale Street include an aggravated assault on September 1st, 2025. What is that? That was Labor Day, right? Right after that is when they even started thinking about the National Guard coming to Memphis. And if you saw the video on Roland Martin's Unfiltered, she said that those troops were in that location. Okay, let's keep going. Where a victim was shot after a fight and a robbery on July the 6th, 2025, involving a handgun and stolen property. The assault involved two armed male suspects, while the robbery involved one male suspect armed with a handgun and two accomplices, all of whom fled in a black Ford pickup. Now, I want to show you this. Let's look at this now. Check this video out. This is Fox 13 News. Let me get the. Let me make sure I get the volume.
But even with the right now, it is the first weekend the National Guard is deployed in Memphis, joining more than a dozen federal agents hoping to fight crime in the city. But even with the Memphis Safe Task Force and troops on the ground, it was still a violent weekend in the popular downtown entertainment district. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for staying with us.
Look what she just said, Roland and Yolanda Cooper Sutton. Look at what she just said. She preferenced what she's about to talk about. She said, even though the troops have arrived, it was still a violent weekend in downtown Beale Street. I just showed you what Stephen A. said. He's heard, because I was one of the Memphians that was upset with Stephen A. Smith. But he was making a comment about why John Morant probably can't get any help down here, and he needs to move on from Memphis because he's probably not gonna ever get the help he needs to win a championship because there's so much crime in Memphis. Now we know there's a lot of crime in every city, but I'm talking about Memphis because I'm here. I live here, and I'm not gonna be somebody that's gonna be dishonest. He's being dishonest because he wants to paint a narrative. Let's stop painting this narrative. And you don't really know what you're talking about because this young lady, how often, I wish somebody had been on there to ask her, how often do you frequent Beale Street?
Let's get to Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman live downtown tonight. Rosalind, Memphis police say there has been plenty of activity on Beale Street over just the past 24 hours.
That's right, Carolyn. MPD confirms they responded to two large disturbances and violent crimes right here in downtown Memphis, including a robbery, multiple fights on the Memphis' most iconic street. We're talking about Beale Street, and while visitors are in town for major events. Now, according to MPD, just after 4 this morning, a large group of 6 to 8 men assaulted and robbed 4 women on Beale Street, taking cash and
Did you hear that, Roland? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And that's even why the National Guard is here. But what did she say? What did she say? She said, no, not that I can think of. But guess where she said she was at? At the JSU homecoming. She's not even in Memphis, downtown on Beale Street. Big screen. When you talk, Roland, and anybody, we have to make sure. This is the one thing I have learned doing this content creation. And that's why I don't get into politics. Because they only speak talking points. And even people that do reaction videos to certain things, they only do talking points. They do not make sure that they're bringing facts. She made a statement that was so untrue. What does that say to Roland Martin, who is a quote unquote journalist? What does that say to you who listen to these videos and these YouTubers and even the media? And I'm not saying Donald Trump was right for sending them troops down here. I'm not saying that it's gonna save the city of Memphis. But what I am saying is when you do it, when you do stories or when you're talking about something, be honest. You always talking about keeping it real. That the mayor of Memphis does not want to come on this show for that very reason, right? What you just did. You had that city councilman sitting on that show because she has her feelings about Donald Trump as well, and she told a story. She did not tell the truth. She helped you. You brought her on there because you know she is a city councilman in Memphis, and what you wanted to do was allow her to help you paint a narrative. Now, am I saying this to say that we needed those troops down here? No. But what I am saying is stop telling stories and stop painting narratives that and you're trying to make like it's absolute fact that people don't want them. Yeah, there are some people that do not want those troops here. And it's for the very reason that I'm talking about now. People painting narratives. I've heard so many narratives. Oh, the National Guard are gonna be here. They're gonna be stopping you. They're gonna be checking your tags. They're gonna be doing this. They're gonna be doing that. Then you hear this. Oh, they're located on Beale Street. They're gonna be in retail areas, and they're located on Beale Street. And is there? And he made sure he asked that question. Is there crime on Beale Street? And what did I show you? The woman said, even after they arrived, a crime was committed against 4 women. So I'm just saying, be honest. When you get on your platform and on your soapbox, make sure that you're telling the truth. Make sure that you're willing to tell everything. Don't just tell parts. And don't get somebody that's just trying to help you with your agenda. That woman lives in a nice area, a nice neighborhood in Memphis. She probably wouldn't know crime if it's slapped her in her face. The same way a lot of us can say, I don't know nothing about the crime rate because we don't live in those crime-filled areas. Most of us, we made sure we got out of those crime-filled areas and we did not look back. Let's be honest. That's what we have to also start doing. Be honest. Stop making it look like you care so much about these neighborhoods and black people and what Trump is trying to do to us. When we move out of these areas, we don't want crime in our areas where we live. We trying to move in the quietest, most secluded and nice neighborhoods as we can. Let's stop acting like we want to live in these bad areas where crime rate is high. Like I said, Donald Trump is not my savior. And I don't think that him sending them troops here is going to make that much of a difference. But don't make it look as if we're taking care of our city on our own. We're not. Obviously, if 4 women got harmed over the weekend, what is that saying to sending the National Guard here? And again, I showed you the reason why it even started to be spoken about. The fact that on Labor Day, on Beale Street, the very area that she said that they're going to be located in, because she was in the meetings, right? Then what did he do? Well, is it crime on Beale Street? And she, being the person that she is, trying to help him. No, not that I know of. But how often do you Beale Street? How often? Now, it may not be crime every single day, but there is crime in Memphis. And it is high. And all I can do is thank God that a lot of times, I don't even experience the high crime. I can't really say that I've experienced it in my lifetime living here. And that's why I'm always defending Memphis, because I don't see what a lot of folks claim they see. And I'm going to be honest, I don't watch the news because I feel like they always giving bad news. But my mom is always telling me about something that's transpired here in Memphis. Kids getting killed, women being killed. And then you just saw. I'm going to play it over for you. And then I'm going to end this video. I'm going to play it over for you. I want you to hear this.
#13 News starts right now. It is the first weekend the National Guard is deployed in Memphis, joining more than a dozen federal agents hoping to fight crime in the city. But even with the Memphis Safe Task Force and troops on the ground, it was still a violent weekend in the popular downtown entertainment district. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Carolyn Serta. Let's get to Fox 13's Rosalind Freeman live downtown tonight. Rosalind, Memphis police say there has been plenty of activity on Beale Street over just the past 24 hours.
That's right, Carolyn. MPD confirms they responded to two large disturbances and violent crimes right here in downtown Memphis, including a robbery, multiple fights on the Memphis' most iconic street. We're talking about Beale Street, and while visitors are in town for major events. Now,
she said several crimes, several fights. I mean, what? That's all I'm gonna say about it, Roland. And this is an impromptu video, but I did it because I wanted Roland. I want people to make sure that even though we're hearing people talk and we hold them in high esteem and we feel like they have no reason to not tell us the truth, but they omit a lot of things, and that's just as well as you, that's just the same as you telling a story and not telling the truth and not being honest. When you omit certain things, that young lady is not even on, hasn't been on Beale Street to even see if there is a reason for the troops to even be down on Beale Street. So when you paint a narrative, because people get mad anytime you paint a narrative and you're omitting some truths so that you can get your agenda pushed. Because you have people that have Memphis is bad. Memphis is the top crime city. It's the murder capital. And matter of fact, I'm gonna end the video on this. I want to look up something. And then I'm gonna let you see it. What I come up with on this look. Okay. Trying to find out where we rank. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Now, okay. Let's go to my iPad. You see that? You see that? What does that say? Now I did just read where it says Memphis crime rate and homicides and all that were down like 30%. But and let me see, when is this, as of 2024. What does this say? Now again, we know that it's crime everywhere, but where does Memphis rank? Mr. Roland Martin, when you're trying to paint a narrative and you're running your mouth, look, and Chicago gets talked about as far as crime uh all the time, and they're not even in the top 10. Memphis is number 1. Detroit is number 2. Baltimore and Maryland, number 3. Houston, Texas, 4. Nashville, even Nashville, and they're trying to clean Nashville up, is number 5. 6 is Denver, Colorado. 7 is Washington, D.C. 8 is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 9 is Indianapolis, Indiana. 10 is Phoenix, Arizona. Come on, Roland. I mean, and I like the fact that you tried to make sure that you had somebody. Oh, she's from Memphis. She's a city councilman. She's in the midst of those meetings. But let's be real. Let's be real. And I was gonna stop, but I want to show you one more thing. One more thing. I think, and definitely I'm gonna end on this one. Let me see it. This is the MPD chief now.
It's a little quiet down here these days because Donald Trump and John Cornyn have been fighting side by side to seal the border. Cornyn's led the charge in the Senate to fund border security. Call and thank Senator Cornyn. Tell him to keep delivering Trump's agenda.
All right, real talk tonight with Memphis's top cop as new data shows crime down for the first 6 months of 2025.
New at 6, Chief CJ Davis says new technology could bolster even more results. But there's still a crime divide in this city between reality and perception.
Listen to it. This is the chief of MPD.
What letter grade would you give our first half of the year in terms of how we are dealing with crime in the city? This is the chief of Memphis Police Department.
Well, I'll give my officers an A. You know, changing the narrative, you know, as it relates to crime fighting, it is a heavy task. And it takes a lot of work.
Memphis Police Chief CJ Davis says the start of her 4th year as chief has been laser focused on the city's most dangerous offenders.
We told you what was coming.
Targeting gang members, drugs, and illegal weapons through coordinated efforts like Operation Rolling Thunder, and partnering with other agencies to shut down nuisance properties.
In just the first 5 months of 2025, there were 26 reported incidents tied to this business.
New crime data shows the department's efforts may be working. Overall major violent crime down 17%. Murders, robberies, and aggravated assaults all seeing declines.
You know,
but look at what murder is. It only went down, what, 4%, right? It only went down 4%. And I showed you that video because at the end of the day, I'm not, like I said, and make sure that you hear me. I'm not saying that Trump made the best decision. I'm not saying that he made the best decision by sending troops down here. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that we have to make sure that we're being honest. It's still a lot of work to do. And if a little bit of help bolsters that change, then that's fine. Because you got a lot of people that's going on record that's trying to scare people about saying Trump is trying to gentrify Memphis. And he may be. And if he is, I hate that. But we also have to look at, if we're going to say that we don't need help, then we as the community members have to make sure we clean up these areas. And that's me included because, like I said, the bad areas, I don't even frequent those areas. But I will say that I probably need to start to help clean it up. Instead of just jumping on my platform and saying Memphis is good and Memphis is bad. Because I don't understand somebody saying my child can play outside for the first time. I don't understand that because I don't live in those areas where parents have to deal with something like that. So I'm not going to get on here and talk about, oh, she's crazy for talking like that. Even if somebody else say, oh, Memphis ain't that bad, I can't say that. Because every crime is, and then this chief is going to say that she's that, and they're going to try to make you think they've gotten some production going and they've progressed in some type of way. They're gonna do that. Why would they tell you anything otherwise? And that's not even the video I wanted, because she said it on another video. We need help. She said it out of her own mouth. That's a different let's see what this one is about. Let me see if this video.
You don't have to make fake content to pay for your trip. Just use Kayak. They search hundreds of sites.
First at 5 on your news leader. When will the National Guard officially arrive in Memphis? It's a question many of you are asking, and we are pushing for answers tonight. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. Numerous agencies tell us planning meetings are happening for the rollout of the president's new Memphis Safe Task Force. WRG Shay Arthur is live tonight with more on the president's memorandum.
That's not
it. And Shay, what are you learning tonight?
I think I want to go to you. Let me go to YouTube and see if I can find it there. Because I just want people to make sure that when you are speaking on something, make sure that you're talking what you know. Sorry, you guys. This was not. This was an impromptu video. Let me see if one of these are gonna. Let me see what she says here.
Tonight, we begin with new information about the mother and son arrested and charged in the 901-day shooting on Beale Street. Good evening. I'm Joyce Peterson in for Joy Redman. After Monday night's incident, city leaders urged parents to be more proactive to protect their children from harm. But as Action News 5's Imani Williams discovered, Memphis police say this mom is a part of the problem. Imani.
Well, Centria Stackins was released on her own recognizance, or ROR, but she faces an accessory after the fact to second-degree murder charge. Her 16-year-old son is charged with attempted second-degree murder. And in just the past few days, teens have been the center of shootings in the Bluff City, an issue leaders say they are working to see change. A mom arrested for, according to investigators, not sharing where her 16-year-old son could be found after Memphis police announced he was behind the 901-day shooting on Beale Street. 49-year-old Centria Stackins now facing accessory after the fact. Her son charged with attempted second-degree murder. Court documents say Stackins first refused to let deputies speak with her son when they contacted her. When deputies arrived at her home, she told them her son was not there, according to court records. She eventually told them he was inside, and both she and her son were arrested. Video shows how a fight led to gunshots on Beale, one of many fights throughout the night. The center of it all, teens.
A lot of our things we're doing is for the youth. Let's stop at 18. But the crime, we can try to catch that group at age 24.
Just days after this shooting, a 16-year-old was shot and killed in Frazier. Police say a 17-year-old is responsible and is now facing a second-degree murder charge. The Memphis Police Department's chief says
oh, here she goes.
Memphis youth need help.
Our young people aren't responsible for the environments that they're brought up in sometimes. And sometimes parents aren't there. And so it's important for us to realize that there needs to be more surrogates in our community.
She said sometimes even the parents need.
And I think that sums it up, guys. I think I've said enough. I think I've shown you enough proof that Roland Martin is not being all the way honest with you. There are probably people here in Memphis, let's be honest, and myself included. I don't have any skin in the game, but I am probably one of the ones that probably feel like, that's really, really crazy to send the National Guard here to protect us, and because we can't protect ourselves. And like the chief was just saying, these young people need help. And but I just wanted to do this video because I feel like Roland Martin, you're a journalist. That this is what you do. But if you're gonna do it with integrity. That's my take on the whole situation. If you're gonna do something, do it with integrity. Don't bring somebody on there that's from Memphis, that's not really in the heart of the situation, that can really be honest with you about what's going on. Come on. Because she was not going to say, yes, Memphis is bad. Because she's one of the city councilmen that's supposed to be in those meetings speaking on the behalf of her constituents in Memphis. Supposed to be in there speaking on the behalf of those her constituents that live in Memphis. They live in the heart of this trouble. But I digress, guys. I love you guys. Peace and I'm out. Oh, I'm all over the place. That's why my hands are doing all this. I love you guys. Peace and I'm out.
Scroll through the word, revelations unlocked. Wisdom so fresh, got my spirit restocked. Streaming hope like podcasts on demand. Faith-built visions, God's work in my hand. Scripture speaks, it's the vibe in my